Ever get that feeling like your phone's listening in? Well,
Mm-hmm.
today's deep dive isn't about paranoia.
Right.
It's about the reality of AI and what it actually means for your privacy.
Mm-hmm.
We're going way beyond all the hype to
Yeah.
like uncover how
Yeah.
these advancements could totally reshape our relationship with technology,
Absolutely.
and maybe even with ourselves.
It's true. What's so captivating and maybe a little unsettling is that this isn't some sci-fi movie,
That's
right?
right.
We're not talking about some distant future. This is happening right now.
Wow, yeah.
Often disguised as like helpful features in the devices we use every single day.
Okay, so let's unpack this.
Mm-hmm.
We are bombarded with ads for all these sleek new devices
Yeah.
with AI that promises to make our lives so much easier.
Mm-hmm.
Apple's new intelligence system,
Yeah.
Google's Gemini,
Right.
even Windows is jumping in now with their Copilot.
It's everywhere.
On the surface, it's pretty tempting, right?
Oh, for sure.
I mean, who wouldn't want like a pocket-sized assistant to organize their day?
Yeah.
Or predict their next text message?
Exactly. The thing is, though, the sophistication of all this technology, it's undeniable.
Right.
But that's also where the issue comes in.
Okay.
For AI to actually deliver these super personalized experiences,
Yeah.
it needs data,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of it.
Right.
And guess what? That data comes from us.
Okay. Us, the users.
Exactly.
So it's not even just about targeted ads anymore.
No.
We're talking about these devices constantly observing, recording, and just like analyzing our every digital move,
Mm-hmm.
like our browsing history, who we contact, those late night searches for like the best ramen.
Yeah.
It's all up for grabs,
It's all out there.
Is this just helpful assistance at this point? Or
Yeah.
are we just handing over the keys to our entire digital lives
Yeah.
with potentially really serious consequences?
And here's where it gets really, really interesting.
Okay.
AI's capability goes way beyond just knowing what you do. It's starting to understand why you do it.
Wow.
We're talking AI being able to decipher our beliefs, our emotional responses.
Really?
Yeah, even our political leanings just by going through our digital footprint.
Oh, wow.
That level of insight, it's totally unprecedented.
Yeah.
And the implications are huge. I mean, really profound.
So our phones are basically becoming like these pocket-sized surveillance devices then.
In a sense, yeah. I mean, think of it like this. Imagine AI being able to capture screenshots of your screen without you even knowing.
What?
Yeah, and record every keystroke you make, even if you backspace and monitor your conversations in real time.
That's kind of creepy.
Yeah, and the article uses Windows Copilot as an example,
Yeah.
saying it logs absolutely everything you type.
Wow.
So this isn't about companies just knowing that you're looking for new shoes online or something.
Yeah.
It's about understanding the nuances of your behavior and your preferences at such a granular level.
Wait, so everything, even if I'm using a private browsing window or an encrypted messaging app, I thought those were supposed to like protect my privacy.
That's a really important question.
Yeah.
And honestly, the answer is a little unsettling. The article suggests that even with encryption, AI could still be one step ahead.
Right.
By recording what you type before a message is even encrypted and sent.
Really?
Yeah.
So before I even hit send that a message I think is private,
Mm-hmm.
AI could already have a copy of it.
Potentially, yeah.
So end-to-end encryption, the gold standard for apps like Signal and WhatsApp, is basically ineffective then.
That's the concern.
Wow.
It really calls into question the future of secure communication and brings up concerns about who actually has access to our supposedly private conversations.
This isn't even just about annoying ads anymore. It feels like we're stepping into a world where our whole digital lives are just an open book for anyone to read.
Right.
What does that even mean for our fundamental right to privacy at that point?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
All our legal frameworks, built before AI even existed, are having a really tough time catching up with all these rapid technological advancements.
Yeah, for sure.
The article mentions concerns about the Fifth Amendment, the right against self-incrimination. So if AI is always watching and recording our lives, could it be used against us in court, even if we never actually said those words out loud?
It's like having this invisible witness, always observing, analyzing, and potentially even judging our every digital move.
It's a bit unsettling, yeah.
It is. It's a chilling thought.
Yeah.
Is there any way to fight back against this level of surveillance? Or are we all doomed to live in some digital panopticon where our data is constantly harvested and scrutinized?
Well,
Stay with us as we delve into that next.
it's easy to feel kind of powerless when we talk about just how much data is being collected, in the background of our digital lives.
Yeah.
But the article doesn't just leave us totally despondent. It actually offers some potential solutions, ways we can maybe reclaim some control in this crazy, rapidly changing landscape.
Yeah, for sure. You're right. It's not completely hopeless.
Go ahead.
There are alternatives out there.
Okay.
And the article talks about this growing movement toward open source technology and AI-free devices. Interesting.
These offer a different path, for people who are looking for more transparency and basically more control over their own data.
Open source technology, to be honest, that sounds like something out of like The Matrix to me. Can you break that down?
Yeah.
For those of us who don't speak fluent tech.
Of course, of course. So basically, open source technology is like a recipe that's available for anyone to use and even modify.
Yeah.
The underlying code is open for anyone to see, check it out, even improve it.
Interesting.
And this transparency lets you actually see exactly how your data is being used.
Okay.
Which is very different from what's happening with a lot of proprietary systems where it's more like a black box.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So instead of just blindly trusting these big tech companies with all of our data, we can actually peek under the hood.
Yeah.
See how everything works, maybe even tinker with it a little ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about giving the control back to the users.
I like that.
The article specifically mentions Linux-based operating systems as like a prime example of open source in action.
Okay.
They're known for being very secure, having great privacy features, and also you can customize them however you want.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's interesting to think that there are like entire operating systems out there.
I know, right?
That are built on this foundation of transparency and control for the user. But what about our phones? Because we've been talking a lot about how smartphones can basically become surveillance devices.
Right.
Are there any open source or like AI-free phones out there?
There are, actually. The article mentions something called the BRA3 privacy phone.
Okay.
And it's designed specifically to collect as little data as possible.
Interesting.
It works like a normal phone, prioritizes calls and texts.
Yeah.
Basic functionality.
Right.
Without all the AI stuff.
Yeah.
That often has hidden costs when it comes to privacy.
Right. It seems like there are options out there then.
Yeah.
Ways to engage with technology on our own terms.
Absolutely.
But let's be honest, for a lot of people, the convenience of these AI-powered devices,
Oh, yeah.
it's hard to resist.
Oh, for sure.
It's like having a personal assistant in your pocket, right?
Right.
Who knows your schedule?
Yeah.
Knows what you like, maybe even finishes your sentences.
It's true.
Is it realistic to expect people to give all that up in the name of privacy?
It's a good point. It's really valid.
Yeah.
The convenience is undeniable.
Yeah.
But the article isn't saying everyone has to completely ditch mainstream technology. It's more about raising awareness,
Right.
getting people to think critically about their choices, and just knowing that alternatives do exist.
So it's about finding that balance then.
Exactly.
Weighing the benefits of AI against the cost to our privacy.
Right.
And making sure we're making informed choices about what we allow into our lives.
Exactly. It's about asking yourself, how much data am I okay with sharing?
Right.
What am I willing to give up for this convenience? And are there places where I really want to draw a hard line when it comes to AI?
It's a conversation we should all be having, especially because this technology is changing so fast.
Absolutely. It's not just about understanding the tech either.
Right.
It's about the bigger picture. What it means for society to live in a world that's increasingly driven by AI.
Does it have to be either, though? Can we somehow use AI for good without giving up our privacy?
That's the question.
Let's explore that as we continue our deep dives. I know we've talked a lot about the downsides of AI.
Right.
But it's important to remember that this technology isn't necessarily good or bad.
Right.
It's a tool, really.
Yeah.
Like any other tool, it can be used in lots of different ways.
That's a really important point to remember, I think. The future of AI, it isn't set in stone.
Yeah.
It's up to us to figure out how this all plays out,
Okay.
how it develops, how it becomes a part of our lives.
So we shouldn't be trying to abandon AI completely.
Not necessarily, no. It's
Yeah.
more about being intentional, I think, about how it develops and how we use it.
So instead of just jumping on board with every new AI gadget that comes out,
Yeah, exactly.
we need to set some boundaries.
Right, for sure. We need to demand transparency from these companies.
Right. And
Yeah.
really look at alternative models that put user privacy and control first.
Exactly.
That open source movement that we talked about before seems like a good step in the right direction.
It is, yeah.
Are there other ways, though, that we can use AI in a positive way,
Yeah.
without having to give up all of our privacy?
Absolutely. One really interesting area is what they're calling privacy-enhancing technologies.
What was that?
Privacy?
Privacy-enhancing technologies?
Okay. Or PETs for short.
Okay.
And basically, these are tools and techniques that are designed to minimize the amount of our personal data that actually gets collected and processed.
Okay.
But they still let us benefit from what AI can do.
Interesting. So instead of just giving AI all of our data, it can design systems that are smarter about it,
Right, more selective.
that respect our privacy more.
Exactly. Can you imagine like a healthcare system that uses AI to diagnose diseases, and recommend treatment plans? But instead of keeping all of your medical history in one place,
Right.
the AI only looks at the specific things it needs just for that one task, and then it gets deleted.
Wow, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
It would let us benefit from AI without having to give up control of really sensitive information.
Exactly. And the best part is that a lot of these PTs are already being developed and used in different industries.
Wow, that's great.
Uh,
So the solutions are out there.
they are.
It's up to us to support the companies that are prioritizing privacy
Yes.
and to really learn about the choices that we have.
Absolutely.
It's empowering to realize that we actually have a say in all of this,
I agree.
that we're not just helpless when it comes to these massive technological changes.
We're not. And that's important to remember. The future of AI, it's not a done deal.
Yeah.
It's a conversation,
Right.
It's about figuring out how to balance all of these things. Our need for convenience, efficiency, and progress.
Right.
With our basic human right to privacy, autonomy, self-determination.
As we wrap up today,
Yeah.
it's clear that the relationship between AI and privacy is complicated.
Right.
There are no simple answers here.
Right.
But we do have choices.
Yes, we do.
Conversations we can have.
For sure.
Actions we can take.
Exactly. The biggest thing we can all do is stay aware.
Yeah.
If we understand how this technology actually works, and if we're willing to ask the hard questions,
Yeah.
and if we demand that these companies are more transparent with us,
Right.
we can help to create a future where AI works for us, not the other way around.
So the next time you pick up your phone, you open your laptop, you interact with anything that uses AI.
Yeah.
Remember, your data is valuable,
Yes, it is.
your privacy is important,
Yeah.
and the decisions that we made today will directly impact what the digital world looks like tomorrow.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's been great exploring all of this with you.
Same here. Thanks for having this conversation with me. And to everyone listening, thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Until next time.
Stay curious out there, everyone. Stay informed and choose wisely.